Here, look at this.
These tapes only affect you if you play it in a correct sequence.
Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today we're going to review a horror film by the name of VHS 2. As the title suggests, VHS 2 is the sequel to the horror film that came out last year by the name of VHS. So pretty much VHS 2 is a horror anthology film with 5 different segments in all, and then we have 7 different directors. The first director involved is a guy by the name of Simon Barrett. Simon Barrett directed the segment in VHS 2 by the name of Tape 49. He is mainly known for, he had a segment in the ABC's Death film that came out this year. He also had a few segments that he wrote in the first VHS film. And then back in 2010, he wrote a film by the name of A Horrible Way to Die. And our second director involved is a guy by the name of Jason Eisner. He did the segment in VHS 2 by the name of Alien Abduction Slumber Party. And Jason Eisner is mainly known for doing Wise for Young Buck in the film that came out this year by the name of the ABC's Death. That was his segment. And then he did a film back in 2011 by the name of Hobo with a Shotgun. We also have Gareth Evans. He did the segment by the name of Safe Haven. And Timo, and I'm not going to try pronouncing his last name because I probably will do it wrong. Anyways, Timo and Gareth Evans, they both did the segment Safe Havens. And Gareth Evans mainly is known for doing The Raid Redemption that came out last year. And then Timo, he had a segment in the ABC's Death by the name of Ellis for Libido. And then back in 2009, he did a film by the name of Macabre. They did the Safe Haven together. Then we also have Greg Hale and Eduardo Sanchez. They mainly did the segment I Ride in the Park. And Eduardo Sanchez is mainly known for doing the film back in 2011 by the name of Lovely Molly. He also, this is probably his most well-known film. Back in 1999, he did a film by the name of The Blair Witch Project. And like I said, they did that segment together. Greg Hale did a film back in 2004 by the name of Say Yes Quickly. And then we have Adam Wingard. And Adam Wingard did the segments in VHS 2 by the name of Clinical Trials. And Adam Wingard is mainly known for directing. He actually directed A Horrible Way to Die. Like I said, Simon Barrett wrote the film while he directed it. And they did a film back in 2007 called Pop Skull. He is doing the film that is coming out this year by the name of You're Next that comes out in late August, I believe. And then he directed a segment in VHS. He did the segment called Tape 56. And he also had a segment in the ABC's Death by the name of Q is for Quack. Sorry if that's all confusing because there's several different people involved and I wanted to make sure that each person got the due credit that they deserve. So let's talk about VHS 2. Well, I don't want to spoil too much. Let's talk about the gist of what VHS 2 is. Like I said, it's a horror anthology film, but there's one overall segment that encompasses the entire film. It is a found footage horror anthology film, and we pretty much have 2 private investigators, and they're trying to find a missing college student. This guy has been missing for a while now, and these 2 private investigators are trying to find him. And they find out that if they go to where he was last seen and find some VHS tapes, these VHS tapes might lead to the discovery of what really happened with this college student. So pretty much what they do is, to find out each clue to get further to the case, they put a VHS tape in, and when they put the VHS tape in, you are watching it with them. So then it'll cut from that, found footage segment then to the VHS tape that they just put into the VCR, and then as they watch, you watch with them. And then as that first segment will end, it'll go back to the man and the woman at the house, and different things will start to happen in the house, and then they'll put the second tape in. And then after the second tape, then it'll cut back to them at the house, and so forth. And you get the idea. So the overall segment is tape 49 that Simon Barrett directed, and then you have then every other director starts to come into play as their segments come up. That's pretty much the main gist. I don't want to get too into it as what the actual segments are about. You can already gather what the Alien Abduction Slumber Party is about because of the title. But the first segment is pretty much, I guess you could say, kind of a ghost story about like this guy that was in a car accident, and there is a camera that like a little camera chip that is inserted within his eye, and it has glitches and allows him to see certain things. I don't want to say too much more about that one. The second one is pretty much a zombie one, so that's pretty, that's what the second one is. The third one is pretty much a Indonesian cult, about this cult that believes in like these religious ceremonies and that sort of thing. I don't want to say any more about that one. And then the last segment is about aliens. And then, like I said, the entire actual found footage thing is these two at the house as they try to put the tapes in to find out what happened involving this missing college student. So that's pretty much the gist of the horror anthology film by the name of VHS 2. Overall, my thoughts and opinions on VHS 2, I absolutely loved this film. I loved the first VHS film. I thought this one was extremely solid, and I believe I reviewed it a while back, so if you're curious, check out my review. I'm pretty sure I did. Anyways, the first VHS is really cool, but I have to say, VHS 2 is probably, if not better than the first one, if not just as good, because VHS 2 is so creative and so unique, and all in all, it just makes up for an amazing film. Let's talk about each segment separately. So, like I said, Simon Barry does tape 49, which is the overall segment, and he's the one that kind of wraps all these things up and connects all of these VHS tapes together, and I think he did a great job. But I have to say, my favorite segment out of the 5 segments, the 4 that are the VHS tapes, and the 5th one, that's the overall one, my favorite segment is the segment by the name of Safe Haven, which Gareth Evans and then Timo did. And like I said, Timo was known for doing, he was known for doing Ellis for Libido, and then the Gareth Evans guy did The Raid, and they did this segment together. So that was my favorite, and that was the one involving the Indonesian cult. And let me say why this one was so my favorite. This one had some great dialogue, a great script, and I was on the edge of my seat during every scene in this segment, and I was really wondering what was going to happen. I mean, that segment was definitely the creepiest. It was extremely bloody, and overall, it was just fun to watch. But let's talk about VHS 2 as a whole. Every segment in this film starts off, effective. They get creepy, and then they get a little creepier, and then a little creepier. And then the last segment involving aliens, I thought was extremely creepy and extremely scary, and all in all, I just love this film to the very core. Like I said, the third segment, titled Safe Haven, involving directors Gareth Evans and then Timo Tjahjanto, I really enjoyed their segment. It was just a great segment. It had a nice script to it, an extremely well-written concept. The premise of that one is just downright amazing. When you see the effect at the end, because the ending, the last few seconds is downright just awesome. It's just really scary, really bloody, and just really fun to watch. The best thing I love about the VHS films, VHS 2, not including the first one, is that just a really cool concept and the cool things they do with it. While you're watching, you get to see all these crazy, VHS sounds. It's pretty much as these VHS tapes have been through hell and back. You can literally see all the little, every time a VHS tape is put in, you see this blue screen, and you see all it starts to fuzz out and stuff, and it's literally these VHS tapes have been thrown and stomped around, and this is what's left. And that's the great thing about it, is that the film feels extremely realistic. You really feel like you're sitting there watching, and every time that you watch, one segment, the first segment starts off pretty creepy, the second one gets a little creepier, the third one's extremely creepy, it's my favorite, and then you have the fourth segment involving aliens. And every segment picks up the pace, puts the stakes a little higher than the previous one before, and it just makes it for a really fun and entertaining time. In all honesty, VHS 2 is probably, if not one of my favorite horror films to come out this year. Theatrically, we always have great theatrical films, but I'm always trying to look forward to the films that come out, video on demand, limited release, straight to DVD. I always try to give those indie horror films a chance, because those are the ones that I really look forward to. A lot of times, the limited release ones are a lot better than the ones that come to theaters, in all honesty, in my opinion. And VHS 2 definitely proves the factor to that case that, it doesn't matter how low of a budget the film is, it can still be a great, a phenomenal film. I loved everything about VHS2. The concept is absolutely cool, really cool. You know, them putting these VHS tapes into the thing. The premise is downright amazing. And then we have a film that is really fun and entertaining to watch. And while it's still fun and entertaining, it still proves to be a very creepy and effective film where I was honestly creeped out in several scenes. The script is really cool. They do some really unique and creative ways when they're filming. The first segment is actually filmed, like I said, it's filmed through the guy's eyeball. So he has like this computer chip in his eyeball and allows him to see different things. And then the second one is done through a camera that's on top of a bicycle helmet. So that's how that one's done. The third one is done, you know, with a few different cameras as the people are filming. And then the fourth one is done in the vision of a dog. So you can see how different, you know, how creative each segment is, and each segment is so unique that it, you know, that it has its own right. So every segment is, you know, it's not cliche, it's nothing like that. You know, each segment has its own different idea, and overall, it, you know, this film just has a great mythology behind it. So that's pretty much my thoughts and opinions upon the horror anthology film by the name of VHS2. Once again, thanks for watching another video by Centipede Geek for my horror movie review of the film by the name of VHS2. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my page below, and I'll see you guys later with more videos by Centipede Geek.